Hey guys, it's Andrea from VW Family Farm, and today I am coming to you and I'm letting out a secret. So stay tuned. Okay, so I have had several people request, they want to know how I make goat's milk soap. So today, I hate to do it, but I'm going to let the secret out. Once you find out how simple it is, you're probably just going to start doing it yourself and you won't want to buy from people like me. But I'm going to tell you anyway. So, let's jump right into it. First off, I'm going to show you a little clip of back in late winter, early spring when we were milking our goats. And Emily's going to show you kind of how we separate and what we do to kind of get the goat's milk before this process ever starts. So, check that out.
Hey y'all, today we are going to be milking the goats, so I'm going to separate them tonight, the babies from the mamas, and then in the morning we will show you how to milk them. So let's go separate them. Food and water, and then we're done.
Good morning. We're going to show you how we milk goats, and with this milk we use it to make soap and lotion. This is just a milker that Ben rigged up for us pretty cheap. It's just a mason jar and some fittings from Lowe's, hose from Lowe's, and then a little vacuum pump. So really inexpensive, great way to milk goats. So I've just cleaned her off. She's in this homemade little milk stand, and that's really all there is to it. Lane, will you turn it on? Just go through these hoses into the mason jar. So, hope you enjoyed that. That's how we get our goat's milk before this process ever takes place. And there's one other thing I do that makes this process a lot less expensive for me, and it's something I have on hand anyway, and that is render lard. So, we raise pastured pork. That was kind of what started our whole farm, and every hog we get processed at the slaughterhouse, we get the fat back, and then I render down into lard. And a lot of times, people that are buying hogs from us won't request their own fat. We try to pass the word on how good it is and that they need to, but if they don't, the slaughterhouse gives it to us. So I wind up with tons of extra fat. So I render it down. We do use it to cook with because it's full of vitamin D, and despite what we've heard in recent years about fat being bad for you, now they're just discovering that it's actually good for you, especially healthy forms from pastured animals, and especially pigs retain vitamin D in their fat, and then that's really good for us to eat. So, but I render so much of it we can't eat it all. So this is a really good, inexpensive way to make soap, is to use this lard. So that's another thing I do before I ever start this process. So I'm going to jump right into this and just show you how to do it. I'll try to be clear, so if you're wanting to replicate this and make it yourself, you'll be able to. So the first thing I do, first things first, I'm going to tell you the supplies you need, and I'm going to tell you the ingredients in case you're wanting to write this down. Okay, you're going to need lard, and you're going to need, I make a big batch at a time, This will make me 16 bars of soap. So you're getting 24 ounces of lard, 10 ounces of coconut oil, 9 ounces of olive oil, 6 ounces of water, 6 ounces of lye, which is also called sodium hydroxide, and 18 ounces of goat's milk. And those are all your ingredients. Now, if you want it to have a scent to it, you're going to need either a fragrance oil, essential oil. You can add in things like oatmeal, cinnamon, lavender pieces, anything you want to add into it. Those things will exfoliate. They'll give it a smell and different things, but that's totally up to you. The type of scents I use or fragrance is from Brambleberry. That's where I get those. And I get this from Cultures for Health. Neither one of which are sponsoring me or giving me anything to tell you this. That's where I prefer to get my lye, and Brambleberry is where I prefer to get my fragrance oils, and that is where I buy lotion making supplies as well. So the rest of this, I made the lard, the olive oil and coconut oil comes from Sam's. That's the cheapest place. They are organic. I do that because it's for my own family too, so that's what I prefer to use. Okay, so, and let me say also, you can buy powdered goat's milk if you don't have a goat. So you can still do this without having a goat. So I'm going to jump right into this. And one more thing you're going to need some measuring cups, and you're going to need a kitchen scale, because when you're making soap, you need to do it by weight, not by measuring out a cup of something. You're going to need to weigh it. And you're also going to need, this is just a cheap stock pot, and it's one I dedicate to soap making, because at the end, the final product's all going to wind up in there with the lye and everything. I'm going to stick blend it in there. You're going to need a stick blender. You could probably do this by hand from what I've read online and stir it, but you're going to be stirring for literally hours and hours and hours. And who wants to do that? So, stick blender is pretty much necessary. And you're going to need a good pair of gloves. Okay? So, one more supply is a mason jar you want to dedicate to soap making, because you're going to mix your lye and water up in this, and I wouldn't can in this again. So, let's get started. First thing is you're going to measure out your lard, which I told you is 24 ounces. That's a good little bit of lard. You still need to weigh it, but you're going to wind up with around 3-ish cups. So that just gives you a measurement to shoot for. But it's quite a bit of lard. And then, like I said, 10 ounces of coconut oil. And I'm going to put them in that stock pot, and I'm just going to let them gently melt. And it is a hot Arkansas day, so my coconut oil and my lard are almost liquefied, so it's not going to take long. Alright, so again, put them in there, let them melt. After those melt, you're going to add in, you're just going to stir in 9 ounces of olive oil, because obviously olive oil is liquid, so it doesn't have to melt to be liquefied. Sorry, my hands are really greasy. And get these out of the way. Okay. So, like I said, the goal here is just to put those on like a low to medium heat, let them sit there and melt together. Okay. While I'm doing that comes the next step. And this is where we're going to start working with the lye. So you're going to want to put gloves on at this point. Lye is not something to be scared of, but it is definitely something to respect. It will burn you. So you need to follow this part closely. So you need to get your gloves. A lot of people say wear long sleeves, so that's probably a great idea. And you're supposed to wear glasses, which I wear glasses anyway, so I'm just hoping these will protect my eyes from any splashes. So, okay, I got my gloves. Now, you're going to take 6 ounces of water. Okay, which you need to weigh it, but a good thing to shoot for is about 3/4 of a cup, because 3/4 of a cup is about 6 ounces, but just go ahead and weigh it. Then you're going to take your mason jar that you've got dedicated to soap making, and you're going to put your water in there. Now this is very important. Do not measure out your lye and pour just a little bit of water into all that lye. Don't do that. You need to put your lye a little bit at a time into your water. That's very important, because if you pour water in all that lye, the whole amount you're going to use, I don't know, they say it would like have a chemical reaction. I don't know, it wouldn't be good. Just don't do it. So next thing you're going to measure out is your lye, and I'm going to dry this cup out first. So you want 6 ounces of lye. This is my favorite lye that I bought. There's the flake kind, which is what this is. There's like little pellets. There's all kinds of stuff. This one dissolves the best for me. So it's from Cultures for Health. It's the best price, and it's the best one I've found to do what I want. So this will make you want to cough a little bit, so you might want to open a window or whatever. You need a little bit of ventilation. So when you do that, I'm going to do that right now. Just get a little fresh air flowing. So you might want to just not take a huge deep breath as you're pouring this, because it has a little powder that comes out of it. So you want 6 ounces. Okay. Now, you're going to put this lye a little bit at a time in this water. Okay, this is going to heat up really hot, so just be aware of that. Your jar is going to get hot pretty quickly. Okay, your goal here is just to dissolve the lye. Okay, my oils are melted. I'm just going to turn them off and take them off the heat and dump the olive oil in. And then that's just going to sit there and wait for a few minutes till I'm ready for it. Okay, I've got that lye dissolved, so I'm going to pour a little bit more. And actually, I'm going to pour the rest at this point. I don't use my dishwasher hardly ever. I just quit using it a couple years ago, but I do use it after I make soap to get everything good and sanitized. Okay, this is getting very hot in this jar. So, the next thing I like to do is I like to have my milk really cold. And actually let this milk thaw out a little more than I like to. Usually I like to still have it a little bit icy and slushy. This is still really cold, but it's not frozen. But it will cook your milk if you're not careful. So, but it is what it is. I let it get a little too thawed. It's just going to make my color a little bit darker of my milk. So I'm going to mix these together. At this point, you don't want to touch any of this liquid because this lye will burn you. If it does happen to get on your skin anywhere, put a little vinegar on it. That will neutralize it. Okay? So I've got those mixed together. I'm going to dump that into the oils. And we are almost done. Okay. Now. Okay. I want to show you this before I go to the next step. You can see how this is really separated. It's oily and milk. You can see it's not come together at all. It's just really, really thin. So when you start blending this, you're going to see a definite change in the consistency, and that's what you're looking for it to emulsify. Okay? So I'm going to come back with you in a second because this is really loud. Okay guys, so I took my stick blender and I blended for a few minutes. I've learned over time, and you'll have to learn this for yourself, but you can blend, you have to blend to trace, which is this supposedly magical place that soap gets to where it won't separate back out into the oils, but it's not too thick to where you can't get it in the mold. So you kind of have to find that. This recipe is almost a no-fail recipe for me. I blended for 30 minutes and it's turned out, and I blended for 2 minutes and it's turned out. So, but one last thing I want to show you. I want to show you what it looks like. You can tell it's come together. It looks more like a pudding than it does all the separate oils. I hope you can see that. Another important thing is after the last step is add your fragrance or your additions, like I was telling you about. Once you do that, you need to blend again. Get that really good and incorporated. So I'm going to take you over and show you how I put it in the molds. Okay, so that's the finished product. It's in the molds now. You can get these molds from anywhere. Someone gave me these that used to make soap. You can see I spilt it a little bit. I went a little over the edge, so that'll be okay. This is some I made yesterday. You can see how it's set up nice. I haven't took it out of the mold yet. And this is some I made 2 days ago, and I've already taken it out, cut it up. Now that needs to go on a wire rack and cure for about 3 weeks before we use it. So that's what the final product looks like. It'll sit there and do what's called saponify, and that's the lye, turning it all into soap. So then after that, like I said, 3 weeks, it'll be ready to use. So I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful to you. And I hope you'll try making some soap. And I hope you have a great day, and God bless, and we'll see you on the next video. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a comment. Thanks guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, you might want to check out those videos. And if you want to subscribe, click down there. Thanks for watching.